You won't believe what one dark evening revealed about betrayal, revenge, and the true cost of trusting the wrong people. This story will pull you into a web of secrets that tore a family apart and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about loyalty. As the night unfolds, shocking confessions threaten to destroy everything Gary thought was real, and the worst is yet to come. Stay tuned because the biggest twist is hidden in plain sight, and you won't see it coming until the very end. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, this story will hit close to home, and it might just change how you see trust forever. Before we dive in, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your location could be part of the story someday. And if you believe that secrets have a way of surfacing, smash that like button now, because you won't want to miss what happens next. This is a story about pain, truth, and the dark choices we make when the stakes are high. And it's only just beginning. I felt a strange knot in my stomach. Tonight, I invited Trish and my brother to my house. I wanted to talk about something that was hurting me. I needed to know the truth. When they came in, I could see their faces. Trish looked nervous. My brother looked serious. I took a deep breath and asked, "Did you do something wrong, Trish? Are you cheating on me?" My voice trembled a little. I was scared of what I might hear. Trish looked down. Her eyes filled with tears. She tried to speak, but no words came out. My heart started pounding faster. I felt angry, sad, and confused all at once. My brother cleared his throat. He looked at me, then at Trish. He finally said, "Gary, I'd have something to tell you." His voice was low but firm. I slept with Trish. My eyes widened. I could not believe what I heard. My brother? He did this to hurt me? I stared at him, trying to understand. My mind was spinning. Trish started crying. She looked at me with big, sad eyes. "Gary, I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered. I was scared and lost. I felt like the floor was shaking under me. I didn't know what to say. My mind was full of questions. Why did he do this? Why did she? And what does this mean for us? The room was silent for a moment. Then I looked at both of them. My brother reached out and shook my hand. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I did this because I was angry. I wanted to hurt you back." My brother's words hit me hard. I saw how angry and hurt he was. Maybe he thought this was revenge. I looked at Trish. She was crying and trembling. I knew everything had changed. The night felt heavy. I sat down slowly. I looked at them both and thought about what I should do next. I realized that tonight, secrets and lies had come out. Nothing would be the same again. I looked at the clock. It was late. I knew this was just the beginning of a darker story. A story where trust was broken, and revenge was waiting in the shadows. This was the first step into a very strange and painful night. And I knew, deep inside, that nothing would ever be the same. I sat silently in the living room. My heart was heavy. The words from last night kept echoing in my mind. Trish looked at me with tears in her eyes. Her face was pale and trembling. I looked at her and asked, "Did you really sleep with my brother?" My voice was shaky. I wanted to know the truth. Trish nodded slowly. She could not speak for a moment. Then she whispered, "Yes, I did it. I was lost and confused. I didn't mean to hurt you." I felt a sharp pain inside. My hands clenched into fists. I looked at my brother. He was standing near the door. His face was cold and serious. Before I said anything, my brother spoke. "Gary," he said quietly, "I did it because I was angry. I wanted to get back at you. You know I hated how you always got everything. I wanted to hurt you." I stared at him. I thought about it. It was true. I had my own secret, one I kept hidden. I had an affair with his wife. I knew I had broken trust too, but hearing this from him made it worse. Now I saw everything more clearly. The room felt heavy with secrets. Trish looked at us both. She was crying softly now. She said, "I never wanted any of this. I loved you, Gary, but I was so lonely. I made a mistake. Please forgive me." I looked at her. Part of me wanted to forgive, but another part was full of anger. I felt betrayed by everyone I trusted. My mind was racing. I didn't know what to do. My brother stepped closer. He reached out his hand and said, "Gary, I am sorry for what I did. I know I hurt you. I want us to be honest now. I think we need to face all this together." I looked at his hand. I hesitated. Then I shook it slowly. It felt cold and wrong. But I also knew that maybe this was the only way. Maybe we needed to be honest to find some peace. Trish saw us shake hands. She looked more broken than before. She whispered, "Please don't forget I am still your wife, Gary. I want to make things right if I can." I looked at her and felt a deep sadness. I loved her, but I also felt a deep hurt. I knew that trust was gone. What was left was only pain and anger. The room seemed darker now. The truth had come out. All the lies and secrets had been revealed. We had all hurt each other in ways we never thought possible. I sat down slowly. I looked around at both of them. I knew that everything had changed forever. There was no going back. We had turned a corner into a world of betrayal and revenge. I thought about what this meant for us. Could we ever be the same? Would we ever forgive? Or was this the end of everything? The night had brought out secrets we could never take back, and I knew that from now on, we would all have to live with the choices we made. No matter what, nothing was the same anymore. The room felt heavy with silence. I sat on the couch, staring at the floor. My head was spinning. My mind kept going back to what I had just learned. Everything was broken now. Nothing was the same. It was quiet for a few moments. Then, my brother finally spoke. His voice was calm, but cold. "Gary, I didn't sleep with Trish. It was my way of getting back at you." I looked up. My eyes widened. I felt like someone had hit me hard in the chest. My mind was trying to catch up with his words. I couldn't believe it. I thought I knew everything, but now I saw that I knew nothing. You did that?" I asked, my voice trembling. He nodded slowly. "Yes, I was angry. I hated how you acted. I wanted to hurt you, so I slept with Trish." I looked at Trish. She was crying. Her face was full of pain. She looked so small and fragile. I felt a strange mix of anger and sadness. I wanted to yell at everyone, but I couldn't. My voice was stuck. Trish sniffed and looked at me. "Gary," she whispered, "I didn't want it to be like this. I never meant to hurt you. I was lonely. I made a lot of mistakes." I took a deep breath. I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what. I felt like I was caught in a big storm. Everything was dark and confusing. Suddenly, my brother reached out his hand. He looked at me with a serious face. "Gary," he said, "we're both wrong. We did terrible things. But maybe now we can stop hurting each other. Maybe it's better if we just accept what happened." I looked at his hand. I hesitated. Then slowly, I reached out and shook it. It was a strange moment. We were enemies a moment ago. Now we were standing there, holding hands. But I didn't feel like friends. I just felt tired and empty. Trish looked at us and cried even more. "Please," she begged, "can I go now? I want to leave this house. I want to forget all of this." I nodded quietly. I didn't want to stop her. I knew she was hurt enough already. She got up slowly, wiping her tears. She looked at me one last time. Her eyes were full of sadness and regret. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Then she turned and walked out the door. The room was silent again. My brother looked at me. "Gary, I know I hurt you. I never wanted to do that. I just wanted to make you feel what I felt." I looked at him. "You made me feel like I'm nothing," I said softly. "You and Trish both. I thought I knew who I was. But now I see everything was a lie." He nodded. "That's right, we all made mistakes. But now it's over. We can't go back. We just have to live with what we did." I felt a terrible ache inside. I wanted to yell or cry, but I didn't. I just sat there, feeling broken and tired. As she left the house, I realized something. Revenge might feel good for a moment, but it only makes everything worse. Now, I saw that all of us had lost something important. Trust, love, hope, all gone. And I knew, deep down, that this night would stay with me forever. The house was quiet once more. I was alone with my thoughts, and I wondered if there was any way to find peace again, or if everything was forever changed. I walk into the living room. It is quiet and cold. The lights are dim. I feel tired and heavy inside. It is the fourth night since everything changed. I sit down on the sofa and look around. The room feels even emptier now. I think about what happened before. I remember the moment I found out the truth. It was like a big storm in my mind. It hurt so much I could not breathe. Now I am trying to understand, but it's very hard. I know everyone is feeling different things. I look at the house and wonder what they're thinking. First, there is Gary. He is my friend, but now I see sadness in his eyes. His face looks tired. He looks lost. I can tell he feels very lonely. He seems to be carrying a big weight. It is a weight of pain and guilt. He wanted to know the truth, but now he is not sure if the truth is good or bad. Gary sits alone in his chair. His hands are clenched in his lap. His eyes look far away. I want to go to him and say something, but I do not know what. I just sit quietly and wait. Next, I think about Trish. She's leaving soon. She looks small and fragile. Her face is red from crying. Her eyes are full of tears. She feels broken inside. I see her pack some clothes into a bag. She is trying to leave the pain behind, but I can see she is still very sad. She looks like she wants to run away from everything. I feel sorry for her. She trusted too much. Now she is alone with her regrets. Then I notice Gary's brother. He is quiet too. His face is hard to read. He looks angry but also sad. He is not smiling. I wonder what he is thinking. Maybe he is angry at Gary, or maybe he is unhappy with himself. He made choices that led to this bad night. He seems to want more revenge, but I can feel that inside he feels lonely too. They all seem to be in a dark place. They are hurt, they are angry, they are lost. I think about what I saw and heard. The night started with a fight about love and trust, but it became something worse. It turned into pain and secrets. The secrets kept coming out. Every new secret made everything more complicated. I remember how the brothers shook hands before. They decided to work together. Not to help each other. No, they decided to hurt Trish. It was a strange and sad choice. They wanted to make her suffer more. I can see that in their eyes, a kind of coldness. Now I wonder what will happen next. Will they break apart? Will they keep their dark plan? Or will they find a way to end this terrible night? I stand up slowly. I want to say something to all of them, but I do not know what. So I just stand and watch. I see the tears on Trish's face. I see the tired look in Gary's eyes. I see the anger in the brother's face. I take a deep breath. I realize that everyone here is hurting. They are hurting because of lies and betrayal. I see that revenge has made everything worse. It has turned love into pain and trust into doubt. I think about what I have learned. When people hurt each other, it does not bring happiness. It only makes everything harder. The more we try to hurt others, the more we hurt ourselves. I want to believe there is a way out, a way to stop the pain. But I know that tonight, everyone is lost in the dark. They do not see the way to the light. I sit back down quietly. I watch and listen. I hope that someday they will find peace. But for now, I understand that the night will stay dark, and everyone in this house will carry their wounds for a long time. As I sit there, I feel a sad but true thing. Revenge may seem sweet at first, but in the end, it only leaves ruin. It takes away happiness, trust, and love. Only pain remains. Tonight, we all learn that betrayal is a heavy burden, and revenge only makes everything worse. I close my eyes for a moment. I wish I could make everything better, but I know I cannot. I can only watch and wait, hoping someday they might find a way to heal. The night remains quiet. The house is full of broken hearts. And I understand one important truth. The more we hurt others, the more we hurt ourselves. And no one wins in a game of revenge. I sat on the edge of the couch. My head was low and my hands trembled. The room felt cold and heavy. I looked around at the faces of the people I once trusted. Everything had changed so fast. Trish was standing near the door. Her eyes were red and her cheeks were wet. She was about to leave. I wanted to reach out, but I didn't know what to say. My heart felt like it was breaking. The brother was sitting quietly in a chair. His face looked tired. He looked away when I glanced at him. I knew he was feeling something deep inside, anger, sadness, maybe regret, but he didn't say anything. The silence was loud. It was like the walls of the room were whispering all the secrets we had kept hidden. And I was starting to see that not all secrets had been told. I finally took a deep breath. I wanted to understand what had happened. I wanted to know the truth, but I was afraid of what I might hear. Trish took her bag. She looked at me, tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Her voice was shaky. "I never wanted to hurt you, but I just couldn't keep it inside anymore." I felt my throat tighten. I wanted to yell, to ask her why, to make her stay, but I knew it was too late. She was already walking toward the door. "Wait," I said softly. "Trish, please, just tell me the truth. Everything. I need to hear it." She hesitated for a moment. Then she turned back, tears spilling down her face. "It wasn't just a mistake," she whispered. "It was because I was so lonely and scared. I didn't know how to fix it. I thought if I told you, maybe we could fix it. But I was wrong." My mind was spinning. I looked at her and saw the pain in her eyes. I realized she wasn't just a wife who had made a mistake. She was a girl lost in her feelings, just like me. The brother finally spoke. His voice was quiet but firm. "Gary, I didn't want to do this, but I was so angry. I hated how you hurt me too. I only did what I did because I wanted revenge. It was a way to make you feel what I felt." I looked at him, shocked. I never thought he could say something like that. It made everything worse. We all had hurt each other so badly, and now I saw there was no easy way out. He reached out his hand. "I'm sorry," he said simply. "I was wrong. I should have talked to you instead of doing this." I was full of hate. I looked at his hand. I didn't know if I should shake it. I felt like I was drowning in pain. I wanted to believe he was sorry, but I also felt anger and betrayal. Trish stepped closer to me. "Gary," she begged, "I never wanted to destroy us. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I see now it only made everything worse." I looked at her and my heart was heavy. I wanted to forgive her, but I also felt too hurt to do it now. I wanted her to stay, to fix this, but I knew it was too late for that. She took a last look at us. "I hope you find happiness," she whispered. Then she opened the door and left. The room was silent again. I sat back on the couch and looked at the floor. My mind was full of questions. Why did everything go wrong? Could we ever go back to how things were? Or was this the end? The brother stood up and came over. He put his hand on my shoulder. "Gary," he said softly, "I'm sorry for what I did. I just wanted to make you hurt like I hurt. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe revenge isn't the answer." I looked at him. His eyes looked tired. I didn't want to hate him anymore. I wanted to believe he was telling the truth now, but I knew some things could never be fixed. As I sat there, I felt a strange feeling inside me. It was like a small seed of hope, mixed with sadness. I realized that nothing would ever be the same. Trust was broken. Hearts were hurt. I looked around at the empty room. I thought about everything that had happened. I thought about the lies, the pain, the revenge, and I understood one thing. Revenge only made things worse. It tore us apart. Now, I knew I had to find a way to move on. But I also knew I would carry these memories forever. And I wondered if someday, maybe, we could all forgive each other. Or if some wounds would stay forever. I took a deep breath. The night was still, but inside me, something was changing. I didn't know exactly what it was. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was sadness. Maybe it was both. And as I looked at the door where Trish had gone, I felt a quiet voice inside telling me, "Trust is fragile, and revenge only destroys. The best thing we can do is try to heal, even if it takes a long time." That was the end of this night, the night when everything changed. And I knew, deep down, that nothing would ever be the same again. I sit alone in the quiet of the room. The lights are dim and everything feels heavy. My mind is full of dark thoughts. I can't stop thinking about everything that has happened. The house feels empty, even though I know the others are nearby. I feel tired, sad, and confused. It's the morning after the worst night of my life. I look around and see the broken pieces of trust and love. I feel like I have lost everything that mattered to me. My heart hurts so much I can barely breathe. I remember how I felt earlier, when Trish was here. She was crying, her face was full of pain. She looked so small and lost. I wanted to hold her, to tell her everything would be okay, but I didn't know what to say. Nothing feels okay now. I hear footsteps behind me. It's my brother. He walks slowly into the room. His face is serious, and his eyes are empty. We stand there for a moment. Neither of us speaks. Finally, he breaks the silence. "Gary," he says softly, "we did a lot of wrong things." His voice is quiet, but I hear the pain in it. I nod slowly. "Yes," I whisper. "We hurt everyone. We hurt each other, and we hurt Trish the most." He looks down at the floor. "I didn't want to do this," he says. "I was angry. I thought revenge would make me feel better. But now I see it only made everything worse." I feel a strange thing inside me. It's a mixture of anger, sadness, and guilt. I want to yell, but I hold back. I know he's right. Revenge is not helping. It only makes us more broken. Suddenly, I remember what happened last night. How we all told secrets we should never have said. How we shook hands and made a terrible deal to keep hurting each other. I feel sick just thinking about it. I look at my brother. "We lost ourselves," I say. "We turned into people we don't want to be." He nods again. "Yes, but maybe it's not too late. Maybe we can start to fix things, or at least try to understand what we did." I stare at him. For the first time, I see something different in his eyes. Maybe he's also feeling regret, or maybe he's just tired of this pain. Just then, I hear a soft sound. It's Trish. She is outside packing her things. She's leaving, maybe for good. I want to go to her, to tell her I'm sorry, but my legs feel heavy. I feel like I'm stuck in a place where I can't move. I hear her voice. She sounds tearful but strong. "I can't stay," she says to herself. "I need to go. I can't live in this broken house anymore." My heart aches again. I want to stop her, to tell her I love her, but I know I miss my chance. Everything is falling apart so fast, like a house made of cards that can't stand anymore. My brother watches her leave. He doesn't try to stop her. Instead, he just sighs and looks away. It's clear he feels the weight of everything too. Now, I sit quietly. I think about what we have done. I realize that revenge was like a fire. It burned us all and left only ashes. Nothing is left of the good things we once had. I want to find a better way. I want to forgive myself and others. But I don't know if that is possible now. Maybe some wounds are too deep to heal. As I sit there, I understand something very important. Revenge might feel good for a moment, but in the end, it only brings more pain. Trust, love, and kindness are much more valuable. They can help us become better, even after we have been hurt. I look around the room one last time. I see the broken pieces of our lives. I know that everything has changed forever. But I also know that maybe, just maybe, we can learn from this. We can try to be better next time. My eyes fill with tears. I am tired, but also hopeful. Hope is small, but I hold on to it. I know that the road ahead will be long, but I want to start walking it, step by step. I take a deep breath and stand up slowly. It's time to face the truth, time to accept what has happened, and maybe, in time, to find some peace. The house is still, and I am still. But deep inside, I feel a tiny seed of hope. It is small, but it is there, and that is enough for now. I sat alone in the quiet room. The windows were dark outside. My heart felt heavy. I had just gone through so much pain. My house was empty except for my thoughts. I looked around and remembered everything that had happened. It was late at night. The house was still, but inside my mind, a storm was building. I remembered the angry words, the tears, and the secrets that came out. I was tired of pretending I was okay. I thought about Trish. She had left earlier, crying and broken. She looked so small and fragile. I wanted to help her, but I didn't know how anymore. She trusted me once. Now, that trust was gone. I looked at the empty chairs. The night had changed everything. My brother, he was here too, but he was quiet now, standing with his arms crossed. His face was hard, like he was hiding something. I knew he was feeling guilty, but he also looked angry. We had both done wrong. We had hurt each other, and now there was nothing left but pain. I wondered what would happen next. Would we ever be the same again? Suddenly, I heard footsteps. My brother came into the room slowly. He looked at me and sighed. I could see the regret in his eyes. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I never wanted it to be like this." I looked at him. I felt a strange mix of anger and sadness. "Why did you do it?" I asked. "Why did you sleep with Trish?" He hesitated. "Because I was angry," he admitted. "Because I was hurt. I wanted to make you feel the same pain I was feeling." I nodded slowly. I understood. But that didn't make it okay. Not really. I felt tired of all the fighting, tired of all the lies. We both stood there for a moment. Neither of us spoke. Then he reached out his hand. I looked at it, unsure, but I knew what he wanted. He wanted to make peace, even if it was hard. I took his hand. We shook hands, and for a moment, we felt like brothers again. But I knew that what we had done was still there, hidden deep inside us. Outside, the night grew darker. Inside, all of us felt the weight of what had happened. There was no more hiding, no more pretending. We had all been hurt, and now we had to face the truth. I looked at Trish's empty chair again. I felt a tear slip down my cheek. I realized that revenge had only made everything worse. It had broken us all. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I knew I couldn't change what had happened, but maybe, just maybe, I could find a way to start healing, to forgive myself and others. As I sat there, I understood one thing clearly. In this house, betrayal had created a circle of pain. But maybe, someday, there could be a new beginning, a chance to rebuild trust, even if it was small and slow. I stood up slowly. The house was still, but inside I was beginning to feel a tiny hope, that even after so much hurt, there might be a way forward, a way to find peace again. And with that thought, I stepped into the dark night outside, hoping for a better tomorrow. I sat alone in the house. Every sound felt loud and strange. The house was quiet, but my mind was full of chaos. I felt tired and heavy. My heart was full of sadness. It was late at night. I looked around the room. Everything seemed empty and cold. The home that was once full of warmth now felt like a place of broken pieces. I remembered what had happened. I thought about Trish. She had left, crying and hurt. She was gone, and I was left behind with my thoughts. I felt a deep ache inside. I wondered if I had done the right thing. Did revenge bring me what I wanted? Or did it only leave me more alone? Suddenly, I remembered the day I found out the truth. It was a day I could never forget. It started with a fight. I had asked Trish if she loved me. She looked scared and confused. Then she started to cry. She said she had made mistakes. She said she loved me, but she also loved someone else. I couldn't believe my ears. My heart felt like it was breaking. I felt angry and hurt. I wanted to know everything. I asked her who she had been with. She told me she was with my brother. She said it happened because she was lonely and sad. I felt shock and pain. I looked at my brother. He looked guilty, but also angry. He admitted he had slept with Trish. He said he did it to hurt me. He was angry about my own secret affair with his wife. I listened and felt more confused than ever. That night, everything changed. We all knew the truth now. The room was full of anger, pain, and regret. The brothers looked at each other. They nodded slowly. Then they shook hands. They made a strange promise. They decided to work together now. They would both hurt Trish because she had hurt them. They smiled at each other. A little too much. It was a dark smile. I saw that they were both filled with revenge. They didn't care about love or forgiveness anymore, only about hurting each other and her. I watched and felt a strange coldness inside me. I knew the anger had taken over. They were now partners in destruction. Trish was left all alone. Her face was full of tears. She begged for forgiveness. She said she was sorry for everything. But her words did not change anything. The brothers told her lies. They threatened to tell everyone her secrets. They wanted to make her feel small and powerless. She cried harder. She begged them to stop. But they only laughed and made fun of her pain. I felt helpless. I wanted to do something, but I could not. I was stuck watching as everything fell apart. I knew this was the end of something important. Trust was gone. Love was broken. All that was left was pain. That night, I saw the truth. Revenge is a terrible thing. It can destroy everything, even the people who start it. I looked at Trish. She was sobbing and scared. She looked so small and lost. I wanted to help her, but I didn't know how. I looked at my brother. He was angry and cold now. I wondered if he cared about anything anymore, and I saw myself. I was tired and filled with regret. I thought about how revenge had made everything worse. In that moment, I realized something very important. Revenge might feel good for a little while, but it always leaves a big hole inside. It hurts everyone, including yourself. I thought about what I should do next. Should I try to fix things? Or should I let go and find a new way? But I knew it was too late for that night. The damage was done. The house was filled with sadness and broken dreams. I sat quietly and looked at the dark sky outside. I wondered if someday someone could forgive and heal, or if this pain would stay forever. In the end, I understood one thing. Revenge only brings more hurt. The only way to feel better is to forgive and try to be kind again. But that is a story for another day. This night was a lesson about betrayal and pain, about how revenge can ruin lives. And I knew that we all had to live with what we did. The choices we made that night would stay with us forever. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. Tomorrow might be a new day. Maybe then we could find a way to heal. But for now, all I could do was sit in the silence and think. I sit quietly in the living room. It is late. The house is silent except for my heavy breathing. I feel tired, but my mind is full of thoughts. I look around at the room where everything happened. It feels cold and empty now. Things have changed so much. It is almost the end of this long, hard night. I feel a strange mix of feelings inside me. Sadness, guilt, and even a little bit of relief. I have been through so much pain. I know everyone in this house is hurting. Trish is gone now. She left after everything was said and done. She looked so broken when she walked out. Her face was full of tears. She left behind a house filled with secrets and broken trust. I look at my brother. He is sitting in a corner, quiet. His face is serious. We don't say much. We both know that tonight changed us forever. We both wanted revenge, but now we see how much damage it has caused. I think about the days before all this started, how things seemed normal, how I trusted Trish, how I trusted my brother, but that trust was like a house of cards. It fell apart so easily when the secrets came out. My brother finally speaks. His voice is low and firm. We did this because we were hurt, he says. We wanted to make things equal, but now I see it only made everything worse. I nod slowly. I feel the same way. We both thought revenge would help us feel better, but it only made us feel worse, because now there is nothing left. No love, no trust, only broken pieces. I remember what Trish said before she left. She was crying. She said she was sorry, that she wished she had never done those things, but it was too late. The damage was done. As I sit here, I realize something important. Revenge might seem satisfying for a moment, but it never brings real happiness. It only leaves pain behind. I think about the cycle we are caught in. Betrayal leads to more betrayal. Hurt leads to more hurt. It is like a circle that never ends. The house feels heavy with silence. I feel like I am carrying a big weight inside me. I want to forget, but I know I can't. I have to live with what has happened. Suddenly, I hear a soft noise. It is the sound of the wind outside. It makes me think about the outside world, a world that keeps going even when our lives are broken. I take a deep breath. I realize that I can't change the past. What's done is done. But maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to forgive. Not everyone, maybe not now, but someday. I want to find peace inside myself. I look at the empty room one last time. I know this is the end of a chapter, a very sad chapter. But I also hope that after the storm, there might be some light. I stand up slowly. Everything feels heavy. I know I have to go forward even if it is hard. I feel tired, but somehow a little bit hopeful. As I step outside, I see the night sky. The stars are shining quietly. They remind me that even in darkness, there is always a small light. It might not be big, but it is there. I walk away from the house. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. But I do know one thing. Revenge may have brought revenge, but it never brings happiness. Only time can heal the wounds. And so, I keep walking, hoping that someday I will find peace again. I sit alone in the quiet house. Every room feels heavy with the pain from last night. The walls seem to whisper stories of betrayal and broken trust. I feel tired, both inside and out. My head is full of questions I cannot answer. I walk to the window and look outside. The sky is gray. It matches how I feel. Everything looks the same, but inside, nothing is the same anymore. I wonder if things will ever be okay again. Trish left early this morning. She took her things and her tears. I saw her go without saying much. She looked so small, so lost. I want to stop her, to tell her I am sorry, but I don't know how. Nothing I say can fix what has been broken. I hear the door open softly behind me. I turn and see my brother. His face looks tired too. No smile, no anger, just sadness. He stands there for a moment, quiet. Then he speaks. "Gary," he says softly, "we did a lot of wrong. We hurt so many people." His voice is low, like he is afraid to wake something terrible. I nod. I feel the same. I realize that revenge only made everything worse. It did not make us feel better. It only broke us more. He steps closer and holds out his hand. I look at him. I see the pain in his eyes. I remember how we used to be brothers, close and happy. Now everything is different. "Maybe," he says, "we can try to fix what we broke. Maybe we can find a way to be better, even after all this." I do not take his hand right away. I'm still hurt, but I see he is sorry. I feel tired of fighting. I slowly reach out my hand and shake his. In that moment, I feel a small hope. Maybe we can begin to heal. Maybe not everything is lost. At the same time, I think about Trish. She is gone, and I know she is hurting too. She trusted us and got hurt the most. I want to find her and tell her I am sorry, but I don't know if she will listen. I turn away from the window and look around. The house feels empty now. The anger, the lies, the revenge, everything has left a deep mark. It's like scars that won't go away. I walk outside for a little while. The air is cold, but it helps clear my head. I think about what I learned. Revenge seems exciting at first. It feels like justice. But in the end, it only leaves pain. It destroys what we once cared about. I know now that forgiving is hard. It is much easier to stay angry and hurt. But I also know that holding on to anger only makes us more lonely. As I stand outside, I hear a quiet voice inside me. It says, maybe it's time to let go of the past. Maybe it's time to try to forgive, even if it's hard. I take a deep breath and look at the sky. The clouds are still gray, but I feel a small flicker of light inside. I realize that healing might start with one small step, just like now, standing here, ready to try. I decide to walk back inside. I will face what comes next. I will try to be better, even if I am scared. Because I know that revenge only brings more pain. But forgiveness can bring a little peace. The house is silent again. I feel a little lighter. Maybe, just maybe, we can find a way to rebuild, one tiny step at a time. And I hope that someday we all can find peace. Not because we forget what happened, but because we learn how to let go and move forward. The story isn't over. It's just the start of a new chapter, one where we try to be kind, even after hurt. One where we choose hope, even when it's hard. I turn off the light and walk to my room. I close the door gently. Inside, I sit on the bed and think. I know the road ahead may be long, but I am ready to try. Because everyone makes mistakes, and everyone can learn to forgive. I am tired, yes, but I'm also hopeful, and that is enough for now.